And we welcome you into another edition of the Ollie Reed Sports Podcast. This is an emergency pod. Didn't have this planned originally. But first and foremost, happy Easter, everybody, for those who celebrate the resurrection. But the West Virginia Mountaineers played in the Crown Championship tonight in Las Vegas against the Oklahoma Sooners. Had a bumpy road to get there. Obviously, dealing with a game against Stanford in the first round, and then playing Creighton in the semifinals, and made it up to Oklahoma for our final game, and we ended up winning in overtime, 89-82. A lot of back and forth and a lot of big runs here, and but yeah, Oklahoma's on that scoring drought for the last 3 minutes of the game, and Mountaineers went on a 13-0 run over those last 3 minutes, and Mountaineers found a way to just get the job done. So, what a way to cap off the year for Ross Hodge in his first season at West Virginia, winning the Crown Championship, the second Crown Championship, because I know Nebraska won the first one last season, and then West Virginia winning it this year. So this is the second annual Crown. So, and Nebraska made it all the way to the Elite Eight this season after that year. So a lot of high expectations heading into year two, and really, really excited for this team to win the Crown Championship and with these seniors. And yeah, that's all I really got to say about that. Jagger, your thoughts?
Yeah, and just what a week for the Mountaineers. This tournament was a prime example of how they've been all year. They never give up in games like this. They're down in this game tonight against Oklahoma, and they surge back. They take it to overtime, and I mean the late threes in overtime by Jasper Floyd and Honor Huff just so clutch. Like I said, just the resilience from the team. Coach Hodge, he always talks about keeping his guys together, and I mean it's night after night he does. They're never out of it. They're always in it, and tonight was just a prime example. All tournament long, Honor Huff was just, I mean, unstoppable. It felt like tonight he starts 5 for 5. He starts the game with 15 threes, and I mean from then on he it felt like he was making everything.
Absolutely. And this, like you were mentioning, he did good. He did really great in all the tournament games that they played. But this was the last go around for these seniors, including honors. So, for him to, come up like that and come up big with a win, it just speaks high volume to his character and how well Coach Hodge has developed these guys. And that's throughout this whole season, like starting in the summertime, and just getting to watch these guys and seeing how well they improved. And it's really a testament to what a great coach Hodge is, and just looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next season, man. The sky's the limit for this program. West Virginia did surpass the 20-win margin in this Crown tournament, finishing the year. I think I just tweeted out 21 and 14. Hold on a second. I gotta double check myself here. But yeah, 21 wins in total. 21-14 record. I didn't want to say 4. I thought it was 13, but it's 14. 21 and 14 record. First 20-win season for WVU since 2019-2020. So speaks high volume to what Coach Hodge has brought in. It may have not have been the best at times, but we're fortunate to end our season with a W.
Yeah, and I think this is just a great momentum shifter going into next season and going into the off season. It's a perfect way to build on to the program and keep the guys and retain the guys that you already have, and just a great way for the seniors to go out in their last game. Shout out to Jasper, Honor, Trey, Chance, Harlan, Belo. I don't know. I may have missed one. I apologize if I did, but just a great way to end their careers off, and hopefully they have bright things in the future. I think they're all great guys and just couldn't have gone out in a better way.
And then speaking of those seniors, Chance Moore, 19 and 10, finishing the game with 19 points. And he had 13 points coming into that second half with a perfect 5 for 5 and shot 3 of 7 from the field. From the free throw line. Just shows the tenacity that he had. And he's kind of shown that all season long, that he's been a great defensive threat. Very big, versatile guy. I spoke highly about him over the offseason. What a tremendous effort player he's been. kind of been one of our glue guys all season long, and then Belo adding 15 points and 8 rebounds, showing what a true character he's had all season long. He really athletic. He really showed his hops throughout this tournament as well, and Trace Eagle staff finished the game with 6 points, even though it wasn't really the year that WVU fans thought that Eagle staff was going to bring, but he also had a pretty, but like he said, he was a really great team player. He was a really great team player. Brought in the energy off the bench, and was just never down whenever things got tough for him and tough for the program. So Trace and Eagle staff definitely showed a lot of leadership this year for WVU, and same goes with Jasper Floyd. Wasn't really a lot of people showed him a lot of hate on social media for whatever reason, don't really know why. Um, but I do see it in a little bit of ways, but, Jasper Floyd was a really great defensive guy. He was our best assist leader, all season long. And it was just really great to see how he's possessed into a true leader as well, not just like on the court, but on off the floor as well. And this West Virginia team, like I said, with these seniors, they may have not have had like the best. They were under recruited at the very young age. And this was a team with a lot of underdogs to prove what they can do. And 21 wins and winning the crown championship with this group of guys, says what he can. Like I said before, says what Coach Hodge has brought in with this program, and I just can't wait to see what happens in year two.
Yeah, and I agree with what you said, Ollie. Honor Huff said the exact same thing. These guys were underdogs, under recruited, coming out of high school, and that's the mentality they played with, and that's why they never gave up. The coaching staff, they got every inch, every ounce out of them all year, and I mean, it just showed night after night. Even in the losses, you never felt like, oh, they're not even trying tonight. They were always competing, diving for loose balls, and I mean that's just everything you want out of a team for sure.
And speaking of that, definitely had some close losses, but we had some big wins, especially beating BYU and Kansas and getting to see two of the best players in the country, and AJ DeBonsa and Darren Peterson come in. Um, and obviously the losses that we had some tough losses as well. We should have won. And I think we've already went back to those in our latest podcast episode. But this West Virginia team, if we can retain some of the pieces that we brought in, some of our younger guys like Amir Jenkins and DJ Thomas, we bring those guys back and then add in a couple of high major guys from the portal. And we'll definitely keep you guys updated with transfer portal news once the transfer portal officially opens on Tuesday. It'll just show you like what West Virginia can truly do heading into the 26-27 season. And like I said, retaining those two pieces will definitely be a great start, first and foremost. But high major guys, definitely, I feel like with the extra 300K that we won, that West Virginia won in the Crown Championship, is definitely going to help our NIL boost. I think we were rumored around 8 to 9 million in NIL. So close to the 10 million mark, which will definitely help us, try to compete for the Big 12 and hopefully try to lead us back to the tournament once again.
Yeah, and that NIL money is huge. That's what it's all about nowadays is paying players and giving the bags out. And I mean this Crown Championship is the best way to do it. You get 300,000 that goes towards NIL. The transfer portal's coming up, so this is the perfect time to execute that money and use it wisely. So looking forward to seeing how Coach Hodge uses that money, who he gets with it, and just excited to see the additions that the team adds through this offseason.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I know there's been rumored that West Virginia is looking at a couple of bigs in the portal because obviously that's what we're really going to need next season is a lot of size. If you don't have size in college basketball, you're going to lose. I just know that personally because we've seen it. And it starts with Arizona because they have a lot of big guys, a lot of size. And it started off with Krivas and then obviously Koa Pete, one of the top freshmen in the country. And just go to show you like how good Arizona was this season. And then getting to talk about another team I'm trying to think about. And then obviously Michigan, you've seen with Yaxel Lendeborg and Adai Mara, who's 7'3", kind of use him as a point forward. And Obviously getting a high level big is definitely going to be key for us heading into next season. And um, but other than that, like I said, retaining the key pieces, like I said, you get DJ Thomas and Amir Jenkins back. We have our high school recruiting class is off the charts with Miles Sadler coming in, most likely going to be our next starting point guard, who should have been in McDonald's All American game, won a Chipotle National Championship with Bella Vista with his teammate um, Alo Diome, who's coming to Morgantown with him, and then Kingston Whitty, who is an underrated freshman as well. I think, man, I mean, the sky's the limit for this team, depending on who we can get in the portal. Because when portal season happens, that's whenever we're really gonna have to like find guys. Great. I know because Ross Hodge always says that he wants high character guys, who just love each other and loves community, and because I know that West Virginia is getting high caliber guys who love the culture and who love the state of West Virginia and who love winning first and foremost, because winning is all that matters in college basketball. And I know it's what matters here for West Virginia. And I really do hope that West Virginia will be able to do that heading the next season.
Yeah, and Coach Hodge talks about all the time recruiting winners. He wants guys with experience who's won at the levels they've been at, and I think that's great that we have Sadler coming in, who just like you said, he's coming off a Chipotle national championship and his teammate as well. So to build with that, to build with a winning culture and a winning program, that's like you said, all that's what it's all about in college basketball.
And they won the EYBL Scholastic League as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So he already won 2 national championships and was already an MVP in both of those.
crazy.
So,
Yeah,
and for him being an undersized guard as well, I mean, just seeing that at the national level is kind of amazing to see, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone do that at the high school level in a long time. Um, so it's very interesting to see like what West Virginia will do with Miles in his freshman year and see what he'll do. I think he'll most likely be a one and done guy. I mean, I personally think he'll be one and done. Some people think he'll be in Morgantown for another year or two. But I feel like he's a one and done player. I mean, but he's playing like it at least. But we'll see what happens. Um, but like I said, portal season's coming up, and hopefully you guys will be definitely gonna be keeping you guys posted constantly along the way with transfer portal news. Also got my AAU schedule lined up. I'm gonna be posting that the day after the national championship. As UConn will be taking on Michigan in Indianapolis tomorrow. Very excited for that matchup as well, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, AAU season is coming, and I already have my schedule lined up, and I'll be posting that. So hopefully, guys, college coaches who want to connect with me, because we're trying to build Ollie Reed Sports as a national brand. We do follow WVU men's basketball, but this is also a national brand as well. So for any college coaches looking on a recruit, we'll be covering all 4 of the power circuits heading into these live periods. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the latest recruiting news, transfer portal news. We're going to keep you guys with daily, consistent content live here on YouTube and on X, formerly Twitter. So that's all I have to say about that. But moving on to the national title game tomorrow, UConn, Dan Hurley, and Dusty May in Michigan, man. Obviously, we already knew about the Wolverines. They've been dominant all year long. Dusty May and his staff have done an incredible job hitting the portal from last season, getting the guys that they need to win. UConn, obviously, back in the national championship game once again. And 3 of the last 4 years, Dan Hurley is considered modern day either Coach K or Bobby Knight. I personally think he's kind of a modern Bobby Knight because of the mentality that he has, and just he's just like a hard nosed guy, kind of like a hard edge kind of coach like Rich Rod in football related terms. But it's really awesome to see this UConn team get back to their winning ways, going back to the national title game. But they have a tough test against the Wolverines, who, in my opinion, are favorite to win this matchup. Definitely going to be interesting to watch. But it's going to be a battle of 2 of the best offensive teams in the country. Yaxel Lendeborg is coming off an injury. And Dusty May said he's full go. Solo Ball was in a boot, and I know he was played a big role in that win against Illinois last Saturday in the Final Four games. So it'll be interesting to see if Solo Ball will be able to participate or not. So very interesting. Jagger, just want to get your thoughts on it and what to expect and who you think will win the national title in Indianapolis tomorrow.
Yeah, and I was just really surprised with last night's result between Michigan and Arizona. Not who won the game, but just how the game went. It felt like from the tip that, I mean, Michigan just had it. They never looked down at any point in the game. So I was really surprised by that. But there's something about this UConn team that I really like. I've heard the saying recently: January, February, Dan, and then Hurley. And I think that's a true statement.
That's Izzo.
Yeah, Izzo. Yeah, I've
That's
heard that, and now I'm hearing Dan Hurley's name. So, um, but I think in the last 4 years now, Dan Hurley is 18-1 in national title games, and all time UConn is 6-0 in title games. So that right there is the definition of the heart of a champion, and that's why I really like this team a lot. They play with a lot of grit. They're really smart, well coached, like you said. And then on the other side, you have Michigan, another team that's really well coached. Dusty May, this was his second Final Four, and now he's in the national title game, so he's got a little bit of experience to build on. So I think tomorrow night's game is going to be good, but I'm taking the rare pick here. I'm not going to call it the underdog pick, but I'm taking UConn. Like I said, they have the heart of a champion. Solo Ball, Alex Caravan. He's going for his third national title. Like, not many guys can
it's
say that.
insane.
So, yeah, I really like Hurley in these kind of games, so that's why I'm taking the Huskies tomorrow night.
I agree with you there. Dan Hurley is, an experienced veteran in these sort of things. I mean, he, in my opinion, is one of the best college coaches, one of the best college obviously, he's one of the best in our generation, but he's one of the best college coaches in the entire, like in the country, like nationwide, obviously. Um, but he's considered one of the greatest coaches of all time, in my opinion. And if UConn does win this, he'll definitely be solidified in there with one of those top coaches, along with Adolph Rupp from Kentucky and John Wooden from UCLA. So, a lot of big names there. That's a lot. So
Yeah.
that's up with Coach K and all those other guys and Dan Hurley. He is one of the greatest out there. But I feel like this is Michigan's to lose. Michigan has had a lot of talent all season long. I think they've been destined for greatness all year. And Dusty Mayo's even talking about this, April habits, April habits, man. It's been, Michigan's one of the best teams in the country, very highly skilled players. And whenever I saw LJ Kaysen, who was one of their best players coming off the bench, he was kind of like their sixth man, should have been sixth man of the year, in my opinion. If there was a national college basketball, excuse me, if there was a national college basketball sixth man of the year, LJ Kaysen would win that award. And it's not even close.
Yeah.
So even without him, Michigan's still able to produce a lot of great wins. A lot of great wins. And even when Yaxel went down in that Final Four game against Arizona, they were still dominant. Still dominant. And I give all praise to Coach Dusty May. He's a true genius of the game. And I even read an article here or read something saying that, they were having to deal with Arizona's length because Arizona is really big. They're really big, very big team. Obviously, WVU got to play them, and we couldn't match up with their size. But with Dusty, what he did, Ellie Cadeau, whenever he was trying to go for a layup, because they couldn't go for lobs, he went for like a layup, a missed layup, and they just predict Aiden Morrow was right there to put it back. That was their strategy, and that's how they won. Dusty May is a true student of the game. He just knows the game of basketball so well. It's what makes him a great coach. He learned under Bobby Knight, Indiana, and just seeing what he's done at FAU and building the culture back up to Michigan, because Michigan they only won 8 games in the last 2 years, 2 years ago in Juwan Howard's last year. Dusty May really he brought that program back to where it should have been at the national level, and I'm very happy for this Michigan team making it back to the national title game. The Fab Five is there in full force. But like I said, this is Michigan's team to lose. This is Michigan's title to lose. Michigan is the clear favorite. I'm going to go with the Wolverines on this one, but it is going to be a tough one. I don't see this. I don't see this as a. I don't really see it as a blowout game. It's definitely going to be a back and forth. Dan Hurley's team isn't going to quit. I just known that off. We've known that off experience. We've seen it. We've covered this game before. Dan Hurley's one of the best college coaches. Dusty May is also one of the best college coaches out there. But I feel like Dusty May does kind of have a little bit of that underdog mentality, because he worked his way for like 20 plus years as a coach. Starting his way at Eastern Michigan as an assistant and being a student manager with Bobby Knight at first, and to see him lead this team to where it is now speaks high volume, and I really do to like what he is as a coach, and I think with this national championship, if they end up winning the national championship, Dusty May definitely going to get a huge contract extension. Even if they lose it, he should get a contract extension regardless. And he's definitely going to be put up there as one of the best in college basketball for sure.
Yeah, and to see what he did at FAU a few years ago and lead them to the Final Four, and they were a buzzer beater away from being in the national title game where he's at right now. To think a team in the I'm blanking what conference are they in?
What are you talking about? Which one?
FAU's conference.
American. They're an American.
Yeah, I was going to say the Atlantic 10, but I knew it wasn't that. Just to think of a team that was in the American Conference, they were a buzzer beater away from being in the national title game. Like you said, it speaks high volume of Dusty May's character and his ability to coach. Like you said, he knows the game so well. He can strategize it. He figures things out, and it just feels like he's so natural to it. And I mean, I understand completely why Michigan is probably the favorite in this game. Like you said, they have the size, the depth, and like you said before, who was it that got hurt?
LJ Kaysen.
Yeah, before he got hurt, like you said, he's probably the sixth man of the year if they give that award out. So, Dusty May is just a great coach, and I think he's also going to be solidified as one of the best when it's all said and done.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and with the actual, and like I even mentioned, with the actual even being down, they were still being, beating an Arizona team that was like ranked ahead of them in that year, this season as the number one team, and while Michigan was still number two, and Arizona was definitely on that hot streak as well, and they weren't playing cupcakes either, and Dusty May is really, like I said before, Dusty May is a really great coach, and it's been an honor again to see him play and again to meet him over the summer, and he showed a lot of high praise. I remember whenever Ross Hodge was getting inducted, whenever he was being introduced as the head basketball coach, Dusty May called him the Denton Flash whenever he was at North Texas. So now I think everyone kind of knew that he was ready for the challenge, and to see the praise from Dusty May, who's one of the best, who's going to be one, who's he knows ball, obviously, right? He obviously knows ball.
Yeah.
Ross Hodge knows ball. But it's just great to see, man. It's just great to see Dusty giving high praise to Ross, and because they were competitors against each other, back in the American Conference, back whenever Ross was in that North Texas, and and Dusty May had Belo at first whenever when Brennan Laurent was at FAU, and didn't really see any playing time, but then Ross Hodge brings him to North Texas and at West Virginia, and he just comes in, and now he's a Power 5 conference player, a starter, and man, it's like Ross Hodge is a really great development coach. He's really, he develops players. He develops players at a high winning level, and I'm just like I said, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in year two. But we just got to hit the portal really strong. But yeah, it'll be a very interesting Final Four matchup for sure. I know I'm getting a little bit off topic there, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what's next come for West Virginia heading the year two, man. It's great. I mean, we didn't make the tournament, but winning a crown championship, we got to see what Nebraska did last year. They won the crown, and then this year making it all the way to the Elite Eight. Don't know if West Virginia will get to that. Hopefully, well, obviously Mountaineer Nation is hopeful about that, but but like I said, just got to hit the portal hard, and just got to find guys that want to win.
Yeah, and we sleep in May.
We sleep in May, absolutely. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. That's gonna wrap it up here. It's almost 9 o'clock. Gonna get ready for the national title game. I'm gonna do a poll. I'm gonna put a poll up on x.com, and obviously I'm putting it on my Instagram and all that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And also AAU schedule is coming up, like I mentioned before, and I'll be posting that right after the state championship game tomorrow night. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting championship game. Really looking forward to seeing what's next to come in 26, 27. Transfer portal season is coming. Recruiting news is coming. Definitely going to keep you guys posted on that. I'll be posting daily, consistently, working tirelessly. We're going to be working tirelessly to put Ollie Reed Sports on the map and also put college basketball. Try to just give the great name of college basketball where it is, man, because there's no better sport. There's literally no better sport than college basketball. And John Rothstein, I know, would agree with me. We do sleep in May. So I'm excited. National championship game tomorrow, and then it's off the transfer portal and recruiting. So I'm excited, man. I'm hyped up. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And as always, keep on keeping on, everybody.